There we are.
I was like, I don't know, I'm not that crazy.
How are you? Oh, I need to fix my background. I don't think you guys want to just stare at a black screen all the entire podcast.
Hey, black screens matter.
Wow. I mean,
Out with the fire.
you're not entirely wrong, I guess. Camera source is busy. What the hell? All right, I'm gonna have to.
To a larger extent, a black screen or a black background is actually easy on the eyes.
What are you saying? I'm not.
Oh, you're horrible on the eyes.
Damn. So much fucking hate.
Yeah, equal opportunity trash talk.
Yeah, I'm all for it. All right, why are you not wanting to? Oh, are you gonna work for me now? Oh, now you're gonna work for me. All right. Background blur. Do this, and there we go. Whew. Almost had a problem.
Still waiting for the magic. Wait, your webcam is showing disabled on mine, on my end.
Oh, is it? Because I mean, I'm.
Yeah. Like you hid the webcam from me specifically.
Oh shit! I have no idea. I mean, you should be able
How
to see.
dare you?
I have not done anything of the sort. I can see you. You can't see me on yours, but if you go to my stream, it's all there.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
It was a you problem.
Well, it was weird because like you showed up on yours, and I'm like, what in the fuck?
I don't appreciate this.
Yeah.
All right, so
What's going on, man?
not much. After we got done with our games, I actually went over and played with some of the people from the Crew Network.
Nice.
Pretty good dudes. Played with a couple of people from the EU. I think they're all asleep now. I'd give them shout outs, but I don't think anyone in here would, or even they would benefit from it at this point. But
you give them shout outs, but you don't want to wake them.
So, guys, that's going to end our podcast for the day. Thank you very much. No.
Fuck yourself.
All right. Missa, how are you today? I'm so glad that you can make it in.
Hi, Missa.
All right. So, Twitch is dumb, is what we were kind of talking about yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, this is not news, but all right. Yeah. So I read over the policy to, I guess, to bring everybody up to speed. I don't give a shit on my stream, but I will tone it down for yours. Basically, some things were said. I made the mention of 2 blanks and 1 blank.
Two persons and 1 drinking vessel.
And then another friend of ours and her sister were technically, available on audio, and one outed the other in something she liked. And in that vein, Doc had to mute them in fear of reprisal from the Twitch streaming community.
The Twitch gods. I have yet to be smitten. So
the Twitch Jesus.
I am trying not to be smitten.
So I read over the policy, and there is a huge double standard. To sum up your end,
mm-hmm.
You are in the right to, I guess, censor your stream in any way, shape, and form, given the boundaries of Twitch's policy.
Which I would like to point out that I have no filter. Like, anyone that knows me, Darren knows me, Missa, I mean, everyone knows. I have actually been dubbed by people in the military as the most offensive person they know. Right. Which is an honor I wear very proudly.
Which neither here nor there. If you wanted to make it like Disney level, where you have no cursing, no, adult orientated shit,
Mhm.
That's perfectly within Twitch's policy. Therefore, you are allowed to have that authority over your viewers
Mhm.
or whoever participates in your stream.
Absolutely.
Um, then there is, in fact, let me bring this up real quick.
Are you bringing something up on Discord? Am I like bringing this up for everybody to see?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it is not in the list, which is hilarious. Um, so the things that were brought up in your stream,
Uh huh.
you immediately wanted to censor because you didn't want Twitch Jesus coming after you and demonetizing you.
Before you keep going, can
Here's
I tell you the background behind that, or do you want to finish and then I can go into that?
Go ahead because I'm not even a lawyer, and I hope both Skippy and Twitch are listening because I will win this tenfold.
All right. So, there
Now
was
that I looked at the ban list and I know what game is not in there, now I've definitively won.
so there have been actually Twitch streamers that have not taken action against people that were saying derogatory or racially charged or whatever comments in their chat.
Mhm.
They apparently didn't ban them quick enough, their mods didn't do it, whatever it was, and they have been either suspended or permabanned off of things that other people have said, which is why it's actually very common if you've heard and I'm going to say this as politically correct as possible. If after we kill somebody in Call of Duty, right?
The death
And
chat.
say again,
The death chat.
the death chat, you will hear derogatory term for gay person, black man, with the
Mhm.
hard R.
Oh yeah.
And it's because these people know that if this thing comes up, technically they can get us banned. And
Correct.
even though we have no control over what they do,
It's the Twitch version of swatting.
No. Swatting is totally different.
It is, but it isn't because other people are setting you up to fail.
So swatting is finding out where somebody lives and then calling a bomb threat or whatever it is to the police to that address.
Well, they are they different extremes? Yes,
Well,
but
that was the definition of swatting.
well, okay. So I had the tool on Modern Warfare 3 back in the day to actually pinpoint where somebody was.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
think a lot of people did, and
the
there were videos that were all
we
over about it.
me and the group that we ran with used it as a kick tool. So because we wanted to mod the lobbies as best as possible.
Okay.
So yes, I think Twitch is wiser than that because they know that a player that is streaming has no control over what someone says on a death chat. Now, provided that the streamer takes proper measures, i.e., deleting a stream or clipping out that section, or even just censoring like a beep, something like that, and then re-uploading the video. But even then, do all streamers know how to do that shit? And the answer is no.
I don't.
So I know how to do some of it, not all of it. And it doesn't really take a professional to know how to do it, but it does take a learning curve, to just do the basics of it,
Mm-hmm.
which not everybody has access to, like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, you know. So I think Twitch is wiser than that to not fault someone for what somebody says on a death chat. Do I think they could? Sure, it's their platform, it's their decision.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think they're wiser than that. So I read over the policy.
Okay.
For you start your time or start your little point system, because for those playing the home game,
All right.
there are three big things on Twitch's policy. The first one is intellectual property protection. That's a given. All right. There's no argument, especially from a musician like myself. There's absolutely no argument there. Streamers are responsible for playing content that they have a licensed right to do. But the other two involves sexually explicit content, and the other, to sum it up, is in violence. All right. I think there's like gore and mature content or whatever added to that. Bottom line is it's violence. Right. So the interesting thing is for someone to say things in your stream that not just you, but other people, that would put them in fear of getting demonetized or permabanned by Twitch, right? They might be in the right to have that fear. But then if you just simply look at the list of prohibited games by Twitch, there are some that follow the context of those guidelines. All right. Hilariously, one of them is Second Life. But nowhere in that list is Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and Warzone, which has gratuitous detail of how to execute somebody, gratuitous detail on how to commit to headshots and throwing knives and bombs
And burning people
right?
alive, actually.
And burning people alive with Molotovs. All right. But not only that, the other game that's interestingly not in that list is Grand Theft Auto 5, where I can go pick up a hooker, have my way with her. And I swear to God, I don't know if you've seen these videos or like seen the game of picking up a hooker and having action with it. And by the way, if you pick up a hooker in Grand Theft Auto, it raises your health.
Good times.
Yeah. That's always been the case with the Grand Theft Auto games. But I think the first Grand Theft Auto didn't have them. But Grand Theft Auto 4 did.
The first two, because those were still top down. GTA 3 was the first.
Yeah, the first. Those two did not have prostitutes, but Grand Theft Auto 3 onward did.
I believe so, yes.
But in Grand Theft Auto 5, I swear to God, you're in first person Skinamax. All right? The girl is going down on you or riding you, and it is vivid. But that game is not in Twitch's list. So for Twitch to have this argument of saying you can't have sexually explicit content or you can't have gratuitous gore and violence, I'm sorry, there's a bit of hypocrisy and a double standard there. And I swear to God, I hope Twitch is listening, because just based on that information, Mortal Kombat had its day in Congress, and that created the ESRB rating system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know some streamers have the ability of identifying themselves as mature content. I know Micropony is one of them. That is a good way of deterring public users from being able to access his stream. They actually have to have an account and specify their age. That's awesome. But because of the fact that there's a double standard with these games, as long as Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out on the market, Twitch is behind the fucking curve to the point where that it's lazy.
So, okay, go ahead.
In that vein, it has to be a partner, someone making incredible money from Twitch, that would have to raise that argument. Like, what's his name? Dr. Disrespect.
He can't because he has been permabanned from Twitch, correct. So he is now on YouTube.
Correct. I don't know what his issue was specifically.
No one does.
I don't know what his issue was.
No, seriously, nobody does, because they will not release to him the exact thing, and he has not talked about it, stating that they never gave me a reason. And he can say that because they never technically did. He has been partially banned, permabanned, suspended, whatever, multiple times, actually, because of some of the content he hid. He went to TwitchCon and was actually recording in public bathrooms, which is a huge legal no-no across the board. And he did it once, and he's like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, and turn the camera off, and then goes back like 30 minutes later with it again. And it wasn't like he's checking the bathroom to see if no one's in there, whatever it is, but that was not why. We don't know why.
So if that's the infraction Dr. Disrespect did, then I'm actually on Twitch's side as far as permabanning.
That is not the reason for the permaban. That ban was lifted.
Okay, I'm going to make a guess it's going to have something to do with it, though. And simple reason why. Public perception. So when you have a situation like that where it is so flagrant. So Mark Ruffalo accidentally live streaming on Instagram at the beginning of Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, it's a violation. It's a leakage, but it's from the actor of the fucking movie. So if anything, he's just going to get yelled at. So, and they're going to be wise to not fucking fire a franchise dude that everybody loves him portraying the character.
Okay.
Marvel was smart enough not to do that. However, when it comes to something like Doctor Disrespect, that is something so flagrant that Twitch was kind of smart to just distance themselves from this individual for the sake of maintaining face or saving face, I should say. All right. They didn't want to look like the organization that houses people that take cell phones into bathrooms. It's basically what it comes down to. Now, that may not be the reason for the ban, but I'm damn well suspecting that's a foundation for it.
Okay, so that ban, that part of it, it was supposed to be a perma ban, and it was actually lifted. The guy has pretty much made a living off of being disrespectful, and the dude's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. He's what is it, Mr. Two-Time? He's like the two-time world champion of something or other.
First time I heard of him is when he made the news of getting banned.
By the way, did you know that if we actually had him on here, we could be banned?
Yeah.
People have been banned just for having him in parties with them while they're streaming.
Or the same thing that I just said. The association of saying this is the person we allow on our stream, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And what it does is it creates a public perception that this is what Twitch allows. And all of a sudden, all someone has to say, oh, Twitch is the new OnlyFans. And all of a sudden, it's going to be a maelstrom of news media, congressional inquiries, subcommittees. I mean, it's fucking ludicrous.
Well, I mean,
all sorts of regulations would come down. Twitch doesn't want that. They have a good enough system as it is to allow the kind of freedom that we have as streamers. However, you can't not acknowledge the double standard of saying something sexually explicit in nature, as long as it's not flagrant, and being worried about permaban when Grand Theft Auto 5 is not on a banned list.
So the thing is that it is the rest of the game. Yes, it's gratuitous violence, blowing things up, killing cops, blah blah blah. Yes, it's GTA. It's all it is. You kill the FBI, you kill the army, you steal tanks. I've done it. I had an entire carport full of tanks. Without any cheat codes.
Nice.
But the whole thing is that particular part of the game, it is up to the streamer to censor it and not do that portion of the game while they are live, because that is the part of it that is not allowed. Okay.
But the thing of it is if it's not, it has to be all of it or none of it, because a game like Second Life does not explicitly deal in sexual nature.
Doesn't
a game
it
like
deal with like prepubescent sex also? And
not initially, because I remember when Second Life first came out and it was a Sims version of World of Warcraft where you could create your own avatar. If you paid money, you could create your own server and currency. You can have your own governmental setup, whatever. All right. And it was literally the only realm of pure, true freedom that didn't actually involve actually hurting another human being. If anything, it was, if you didn't like it, you just left, or it wasn't really that big of a thing. Also, back in the day when that game gained a little bit of popularity, the United States Army was actually using Second Life as a hub for recruitment.
Well, that's a reason to ban it right there.
Right?
They're sponsored by the Air Force. Don't you know that?
I don't think so.
Oh, no.
Too smart for that.
No. Dude, have you not seen the commercials? The only commercials that come up are Air Force commercials for Twitch.
Well, what's funny is the biggest commercial that's out right now, I think, is for like the National Guard of like some other state. I'm like, that's
what?
Funny. Yeah. And it's not even like the National Guard as a whole. It's just the National Guard of a particular state.
We need you out here in West Virginia and all 6 of your teeth.
I know, right? Clearly, California's doing fucking something wrong.
Yeah, everyone's leaving.
Separate issue.
Yeah, right. I will get to that, I think. But
separate topic. But anyway, Twitch has when it comes to Twitch's policy, they cannot uphold a policy that is loosely governed. So they cannot enforce a ramification for a policy that's loosely governed, I should say.
But they have, and they will continue to do it.
And they will continue to do it until someone at the level of someone like Dr. Disrespect, who does not do anything so flagrant, and Twitch decides to permaban them, then all of a sudden they make it an issue.
So,
and all of a sudden Twitch goes to court. Now, the question Twitch would have to ask is, one, do we have the financial firepower to fight this?
Absolutely, they do.
Okay. Number two, do we have the ability to win the case?
Absolutely, because Bezos has bought all of the lawyers and all of the judges in all 50 states.
The problem is
he owns the ACLU.
The people that have been the most confident going into a court case have been the ones to lose almost every time. And the biggest example of that is insurance companies, especially health.
Okay.
And the easy way to get around that is file bankruptcy when you lose. So Twitch all of a sudden goes away. Amazon decides to sell it to another company.
Yeah, but anyway,
or they just dissolve it.
So I was actually talking to Missa about this last night, about the double standards of Twitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to do the beach, pool, and hot tubs thing, right? I could be out there in my board shorts going swimming and be totally fine, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now what happens? Go ahead.
Well, are you talking about like streaming on your phone?
On my phone, on a computer, whatever. If I have like a cam up, like watching the pool, like let's say I'm having a pool party. All right.
Okay, I didn't know you were talking about a real thing. The answer is no.
Why?
You cannot do that because you need the consent to use other people's likeness.
What do you mean?
So anyone that walks on your stream that doesn't give you consent to use their identity can now sue you.
Well, I'd be talking about like me, you, Ray, Heather, like we're together, we're hanging out.
If it's just us, yes.
Okay, but that's what I'm getting at. Like, or it's just me in the pool by myself.
You made it sound like it was like a public place.
No, not a public place at all.
All right.
And I don't even know how that whole thing works because there are people that are doing live stream, like real life stuff out at like restaurants and diners and shit. And they are 100% partnered and, being, paid by Twitch to do these things. So there's that. I don't even want to touch that issue. But what I wanted to say was, so let's say I'm out there, right? I'm in my board shorts, flip-flops, take my flip-flops off, jump into the pool, right? No issues, right? So let's say that a person that was born a female with double D's decides that they want to be called male, takes their shirt off and jumps into a pool. Is this now against the terms of service?
So here's the question. Did she declare that she was a male before
yes.
she took her top off?
So
I would say that would be a very, 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 very unique situation that Twitch would probably slap you on the hand for and give you a pass. Because there's a pretty good chance they would cave with the woke generation. And for a chick to just come out and declare that I'm male and take her top off,
so
if she identifies as male, then she's kind of entitled to do it.
Okay. So now here's another one, all right? So there have been multiple people on Twitch of the lighter skin complexion that have dropped certain words that a darker skin complexion is allowed to drop. They have been banned. The other ones have not.
So that's not a double standard with just Twitch.
No, I understand that. So I was actually talking to Missa last night. What if I made up a soundboard that anytime I wanted to use that word, I would just have like Dr. Dre out of one of his things, just hit a button and be like, or if I had like the gayest person I know, because there is a certain word that only gay guys can use.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the two words that we hear on our death cams all the time, that if we were to say these things, we could get banned for being derogatory or racist or whatever it is. But being that it would be said by the proper orientation or the proper spectrum of skin tone, I don't even know how to say that, because there are some like black dudes out there that are whiter than I am. Because, dude, I'm actually a
I know
pretty
one of them.
I'm actually a pretty dark white dude. All right, like my dad was not my dad. My grandfather was born in Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm part Indonesian.
All right. So the win to this one is sorry to say, but it's a white dude stream saying a derogatory term. You that's the generation we live in where you do not win that argument whatsoever. So even if you were to have a sample from a Dr. Dre track of saying the N word, and it's yes, it's not you saying it, it's a machine saying it, but it's your stream. You're the straight white dude saying a derogatory, uh, you know, black person reference. Sorry to say, you allowed it. That would be Twitch's response to it. And
So
at
am
the
I
end of
not
the
allowed to
day,
play Dre if I get like the consent from Dre? Am I not allowed to play that on my stream?
you just said it, so you got the consent from Dre to say it
No, no,
or to
no. I
play it
no.
on your.
Right.
I, you got the consent from Dre, so you accomplished that hurdle. But the problem is all it's going to take is for someone to say, "I'm offended that this white dude is using a the N word on his stream, even though he's the one saying it," and you're fucked. That's not just because of Twitch. That's because of the generation we live in, where you have that double standard there. My thought process on those terms is if it's wrong for any one race to say it, it should be wrong for any race to say it.
You know, my girlfriend has actually said that as a very white thing to say.
Sorry, yeah, that's just my philosophy on it.
All words matter, right?
But
But no, it's just one of those things that, like, I for the longest time have had an issue with it. I don't know. It's like you can have across the back of your car Asian power or yellow power. There was actually a little car up at Moore Park College when I was going there. It was like a little Miata or something, and it literally said "powered by Allah." And I'm just like, that's awesome. It's really funny. That
that's
was
different.
a really awkward time because that was like 2004.
Yeah,
And that's a really
dude,
awkward
turn a lot
time to
of
be
heads.
throwing that kind of shit around at that point, especially in that area. But it's just one of those things that I'm just wondering when when will we hit that tipping point that either all words are okay or no words are okay, because we are already hitting 1984 type like redefining of words.
You never will. And the one of the reasons why is we can't remember who I was having this discussion with. But free will is given to us by deity, government, and nature.
You have said it on the stream a few times. That might have been the conversation we've
Is
had.
it?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I
You
won't
take
give you I
anyone.
won't give you a point for it, but
Yeah, because I don't recall saying it specifically. I mean, I have the list of things that I know I recall saying repeatedly on the fucking stream. But that I don't recall as being one of them. But bottom line is you take any one of those away, you have control.
Mhm.
And you cannot have love without hate. You cannot have fear without courage. There has to be a dichotomy of things. Otherwise, things are just the way they are.
Mhm.
And in that vein, people are, it is a very natural thing to fear what you don't know and or don't understand. And as the human race in general, if aliens were to fucking show up on our doorstep from a galaxy far, far away, how do you think we would react? Probably not well. Not all of us, at least. Why? Because we fear what we don't know. So, in that process of thinking, you are always going to have people that are rooted in hate. And hate does not know an ethnicity. Black people, there are some black people that are born to hate. There are some Hispanic people that are born to hate. There are some Asian communities that are born to hate. White people are born to hate. And don't get me wrong, white people have a bad history when it comes to trying to control people. All right. King Edward the Longshanks is probably one of the chief among them next to President Andrew Jackson. So in that, but that doesn't excuse other races for trying to one up the other. All right. All you're doing is you're lowering yourself to another standard. So when it comes to all words being allowed or none of these words being allowed, you're never going to get past that hurdle. And we live in such a stupid generation where everybody's offended by fucking everything. For some reason, they have to make a point of it. I was just at a bar last night, same bar I'm going to tonight for my $5 wings. And there's a chick there I've seen there a couple times.
Did we lose Darren?
Yeah.
And the camera stopped. And he's gone. At least you had a little bit of warning this time, Darren.
There we go.
And he's back.
I'm slowly coming back. Discord said I've had enough of this conversation.
We're being demonetized by Discord.
I know, right? We're not even being monetized. We already jumped the gun.
Should I have paid more for Discord than anything else? This is dumb. Continue.
But anyway, there's a chick at a bar that was at the bar last night, same bar I'm going to for my $5 wings.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen her there several times in the last like 2 years or whatever. But only twice have I ever been at the fire pit there having some sort of interaction with her.
Mm-hmm.
And of the other few times I have noticed her there has been the same issue. And that issue is she makes it a point to start a fight with someone a verbal fight, for no fucking reason other than the fact that this person didn't side with her ideology of things.
So she's a Karen.
Not like a psycho Karen, like I'm gonna go Super Saiyan on you.
It's saying
whatever. I'm so glad my buddy Greg is not in this conversation. Otherwise, he would have fucking donkey punched me.
I
saying it wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like off stream tell you what a donkey punch is because you don't want Greg ever donkey punching you. Continue.
You've done it.
No. No. So yeah, after stream, I want you to Urban Dictionary donkey punch.
That's fine. It's fine. Anyway, neither here nor there. This chick has just made it a point to start fights with people just because they differ on her ideology. And hey, what's up, Ray? And
see, Ray knows
what that chick embodied everything that is wrong with this generation because for whatever reason, the conversation had nothing to do with her, but she took it upon herself to interject herself into a conversation that she had no business in whatsoever, but just because of the fact that someone's idea fucking bothered her. So in answer to your question, we will never get past that. It'll evolve. It'll take different shapes and forms at best. Some of it better, some of it worse. But until an alien race comes over, tries to invade us, and that gives us a reason to finally just call ourselves Earth, not fucking 120 different countries or 200 some odd countries. Instead of saying I'm American, I'm French, I'm African, I'm Brazilian, whatever. Once we start calling ourselves the fucking human race, you will always have problems like that.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Probably not in our lifetime, but there's a small chance.
I don't know, man. So like we talked about long ago, we have the technology and the ability to get ourselves way the fuck out there in space. We have no way of coming back, but we have the ability to get ourselves way the fuck out there.
Not necessarily partially true. In fact, I know the very person to bring in on this conversation.
Okay. Okay, so you're not allowed to bring him up because whenever you bring him up, you're just kind of like, we might have to delete this because this was actually the conversation we were talking about the first time that never made it on here because you brought him up.
There was something that was brought up that I felt like it was necessary to delete the stream.
But in any case, I love Joe. I love Sarah. But until Joe becomes relevant to conversation, he is irrelevant to the stream. And by becoming relevant, I mean actually partaking in this whole thing. Just like, as much as I love Ray, he is not relevant to the conversation other than what he may... Actually, Ray is more relevant to this conversation because he's actually typed in chat. Joe has only yelled at you through a closed door.
Okay, so that's what you mean by relevant. All right, well then... if you want to have an astrophysics conversation, I'll bring him in. Because the answer to what you just said, that as far as the technology of getting to somewhere but getting back, you're partially correct. And
We
even I know this.
yeah.
Um, the problem is no one can achieve the speed of light. Can't achieve the speed of light. All right.
Yet.
Yet. All right. So does that mean other alien races can also achieve this, also have not achieved the speed of light? And the answer is no. Why? Simply for the fact that we just don't know what the fuck is out there, but they're bound by the same laws of physics as we are. So if
Well,
it takes, well, hold on. So the nearest exoplanet is like what, 4 million light years away? That's 4 million years at the speed of light. All right. So if it takes us 6 months to get to Mars, do you necessarily have to birth in space? No. So we could get to Mars pretty fucking easily. But to get to an exoplanet at 4 million years at the speed of light, that means we not only have to achieve the speed of light, which we haven't yet,
mhm.
but it's going to take us 4 million years at that speed to get there. And if that exoplanet has intelligent life, it's going to take them the same amount of time to get to us. So the only exception to that rule is still a theory, and that's wormholes. So, yeah, we do have the technology to get to other planets. Granted, you would have to reproduce in space, but and you would also have to build muscle in space, because the moment you land, you would just crumble to the earth because you built no muscle over thousands of years.
By the way, the nearest one is actually 50 light years, not
Okay.
400 million.
Okay, so that's 50 light years. Let's assume you are 30 years old at the time that you were becoming an astronaut. That would make you 80 years old, provided you even survive the fucking trip.
No, that's why I
That would
said that we would have the ability to get somewhere.
You would have to reproduce in space,
Yes,
or
well,
on that exoplanet.
I mean, in all honesty, I mean,
But again, that's 50 years at the speed of light, which we have not achieved yet.
okay, fine. So you go half the speed of light, and you have 3 generations, and you're telling your great grandkids about how shitty the price of living in California was, way back in the day.
But again, so the alien species is bound by the same laws of physics as us. So unless they can prove that wormholes are real, it will take them 50 years at the speed of light, which is the fastest speed of getting here.
So the laws of physics we are only bound by the laws of physics that we know. Because there is technically physics out there that we don't know and we don't understand. Because for us to say that we know all of it, we would know all of blah blah blah. But what I'm getting at is that there is the ability or the possibility that they would have not just a different set of rules. Why are you barking? What are you doing? Thank you.
I'm going to immediately challenge this, because there is only one person we know that actually has a credible degree in that field.
Who is irrelevant to the conversation because he doesn't even watch your streams when he's playing with you, let alone joining us while we're actually in a conversation about it. I'm sorry, as much as you love to praise the ground he walks on for astrophysics, if he's not in here for the conversation.
So no, it's not that. It's one of those things where it's like, know your lane. And there are some things I can speak to when it comes to astrophysics. Business is my fucking lane. So those are one of the things where I can say with credibility that, hey, if you believe this one thing and I know you're wrong, I'm gonna say you're wrong and back it up with X, Y, and Z. Astrophysics is not one of them. So to debunk the idea that there's different laws of physics than the one we know about, or there's more laws of physics that we don't know about, to an extent, I want to challenge that. Only not because of the fact that I think you're wrong, but I think there is someone that can shed light on that.
So we've actually already... So first off, the laws of physics haven't always existed in the form that they are right now. Someone had to actually take that idea, put it into practice, and say that this is the law. Correct? Like someone had to actually state what that law is. Now,
Correct.
that law may be stated to the best of the ability of the person that had stated it. But there could be another way of explaining something that would actually give even more light or would actually give a different definition to it through another means of explanation. We are actually, I mean, we could probably go on to certain websites and actually see this wormhole challenges the laws of physics, and it's going to be like the Inquirer or whatever it is. The thing is that for something to even be challenged, because it is science, the whole point of science is to prove things more correct until you either prove it even more correct or prove it wrong.
So I think a better way, something that's better stated, is there are the laws of physics that we know about that
Correct.
have already been proven. All right.
To the best
There
of
are-
our knowledge.
But there are theories that are still out there that have yet to be proven or disproven.
Correct.
So, in terms of travel time, an alien species is bound by the same laws of physics that we know about, right?
But
Like kind
that-
of like I said.
but
hang
that
on,
is the key
hang
word.
on.
Because you
50
changed your definition just
No.
now.
No, because I had already pointed it out. Unless they have figured out wormholes, which is a theory, it will still take them 50 years at the speed of light.
So
Meaning, if they have the exception that we don't know about, which I already had stated, it will still take them this amount of time. It's like bowling, all right? You either know how to get a strike without bumper bowling, or you know how to get a strike with bumper bowling.
so the speed of light is the fastest thing that we know of on Earth.
It is the fastest. What's it called?
So here's the thing. The fastest mode of transportation for the longest time was a horse because no one knew any different.
Right.
Then we've created other things. It does not mean that there's not something else out there. So am I actually saying that you're wrong? Absolutely not. As far as we know, and as far as anything that has ever been proven or anything like that, the speed of light is the fastest thing out there. Yes.
Okay. I think we're once again saying the exact same argument, just arguing two different points.
Well, what I'm getting at is that it doesn't necessarily have to be wormhole. It doesn't necessarily have
It
to
could
be warp
anything.
speed.
That's what I said. It could be anything. If there's something we don't know about that they have, it will still take them the same amount of time as us.
What about hyperdrive?
Exactly.
The whole thing is that your original thing, your original statement was they are bound to the same laws of physics. And then the second thing that you said is they are bound to the same laws in physics that we know. And that was the difference in your statement.
Well, it was kind of, it was to not necessarily counter yours. It was just to kind of support something I'd already stated. They are bound to the same laws of physics as us, provided they don't have something we don't know about. If they have a fucking hyperdrive or they know how to use wormholes, clearly that's something new we don't know.
Or they have a 12th law of physics.
Whatever.
They learned
Again,
how to like lube a flashlight to make light travel faster.
For all we know, they're starting off in the fucking Stone Age and we're the advanced civilization. So if that's the case, then they're still bound to the same laws of physics as we are. Why? Because we have not achieved wormholes, hyperdrives, the speed of light. Whatever.
I don't know,
it's
man.
It's still gonna take us that long.
I would totally take like the speed of a dinosaur over the speed of light. Could you imagine riding around a
Wow.
raptor? Like
I would
putting a saddle on a raptor and riding it around?
You just love Jurassic Park too much.
I loved Jurassic Park. Like that whole idea. Chris Pratt was amazing in that movie, by the way.
I never liked the Jurassic Park movies. I
Really?
mean, it was a cool concept.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong.
is it because you knew the actual story behind it and you just don't agree with it because they didn't stick to the original script?
No, yeah, I thought it was a very accurate representation of man trying to dick with nature. I thought it was an accurate representation with that.
And then somehow nature finds a way.
Somehow nature finds a way. But the issue I had with those films is you can only get so far beyond what the first film captured. And I thought so the first film I thought was good.
Yep.
The one with Chris Pratt I thought was good.
Yes.
Because they kind of connected the first film with the original park.
Yes.
I thought that was awesome. Especially from a story standpoint. But dinosaurs and humans. what else can you achieve? You're not exactly going to get like an Oscar-worthy performance of like Gangs of New York or something like that. But it's just one of those movies that's not the top of my list.
I've actually always liked the Jurassic Park movies.
Like I said, I like the first one, and the one with Chris Pratt. Never cared for the rest.
Jurassic Park and Jurassic World were the best two movies. I do actually like, as far as storyline goes, the actual like the intensity and the like a movie for a movie, not necessarily for a story. Sometimes you just go to a movie because you just want to see a movie. Well, maybe you don't, because you have a really like, slim definition of what you consider a movie these days. But like Jurassic Park 2, it was actually a pretty good movie as far as like an action movie goes, because that's really what it is. Like, I can't even call it anything other than an action movie, right?
You kind of can. It's not a geologist, but my nephew wanted to be this for, I think he still wants to.
Paleontologist, archaeologist.
Not a paleontologist is in the direction he wants to go, but it's specific to amphibians. I forget the term.
Amphibianologist?
No, there's a weird term that doesn't sound like reptile or amphibian. But that's what he loves, reptiles. And
Okay.
he's I think he's gonna be 12. Still in love with reptiles.
So he still has several years before he realizes the like dream crushing realities of
no, he wants to join the military. So if his dreams don't get crushed now, they'll get crushed later.
What do you want to be when you grow up? A dinosaur. Your nephew actually wants to be a dinosaur.
What does he do? Joins the army.
Well, they are a mean green fighting machine, which is
that's Ninja Turtles. That's not the army.
Well, they're giant reptile amphibian things.
They're not giant. In the original comic, they were like 4 foot nothing.
Okay, what is the biggest turtle you've ever seen?
What would that be? Snapping turtle?
Okay, and how big is that?
About maybe 3 feet tall at best.
Really?
Yeah. They're, again, from a turtle standpoint, they're fucking huge.
That's what I'm getting at. They're gigantic.
But all right? I think the top of the shell to the ground, I think, is only like 3 feet.
Still, they're gigantic.
Wow, we got way off topic. But yeah,
not at all. Fuck Twitch. Continue.
My nephew wanted to be this for the longest time. I can't remember the name of it, but it has to do with something with reptiles and studying amphibians and all this shit. And what I can appreciate with the first Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, not so much Jurassic World, because the one thing I hated about Jurassic World with Chris Pratt was why is it that you have to introduce biology and changing a species DNA? I mean, you're getting so fucking far-fetched. It's already far-fetched bringing back the fucking dinosaurs, but at least with the first Jurassic Park, they at least had some scientific backing. Not a great amount of scientific backing, but some.
By the way, it's a herpetologist.
Herpetologist, thank you. That's what he wanted to. That's what he wanted to be.
If you would have brought that up in a random conversation, I would have been like, "So why does your nephew want to study herpes?"
Exactly, and I'm like, it's a word, like the herp part of it has nothing to do with amphibians. Nothing. It doesn't sound like reptiles. It's just a weird term.
Biggest turtle we know of was 9 feet. Is that a turtle or a tortoise?
9 feet in length or height?
That sounds like a tortoise.
Yeah, that sounds like a tortoise.
I mean,
maybe it is tortoise as opposed to snapping turtle, but 9 feet in length sounds about right. Not 9 feet fucking tall.
Oh, no, I guess it is true because you have the leatherback sea turtle. Not what I'm thinking of, but technically, yes, you have the leatherback sea turtle, and they are fucking huge.
Yeah, I think they're 9 feet in length sounds possible.
Oh, I mean, it's
9 feet in length, not height.
Well, I mean, if it's swimming upwards, it becomes height, right?
Okay, yeah, like a fucking stingray looks pretty fucking slim until it fucking goes upward on you.
Yeah.
Then it looks huge. And it's smiling at you.
Yeah, you know, no, I'm just going to avoid that adult humor joke about.
But anyway, the first film I thought I could appreciate more because it had some scientific backing about bringing back the dinosaurs, which I thought was a cool concept. With the Jurassic World, the one with Chris Pratt, why introduce fucking biology in making your own fucking dinosaur? No,
Because technically that would be the more realistic way to create a dinosaur. It would be gene splicing. It would be I don't actually know what that face is. If that is your O face, this is the reason you're single.
That's not my O face. This idea is fucking stupid.
Well, and that's fine. But scientifically speaking, I mean, if we can, we've actually already been able to prove that we can not copy, but we can copy. What the hell was the term for it? Clone. Thank you. That we can clone things, right?
Yep.
All right, Dolly. Like that thing was so incredibly genetically fucked up by like the 12th generation of Dolly that I don't think it lived more than 3 days. But it is still the possibility. And so they're trying to add a little more realism to it, other than just, we found this mosquito, and using the minute amount of blood, we've also been able to discover these 87 different type of dinosaurs.
Maybe I should explain it this way. In the original film, they found the dinosaur DNA to recreate the dinosaurs. Cool concept, right?
Impossible, but yes.
Impossible, but cool concept, all right? Backed by scientific data, just not plausible. And so you bring back the dinosaurs. What happens when you have dinosaurs and humans together? You have problems, all right?
I mean, maybe.
That's your premise for a movie, all
okay.
right? Cool, got it, like it. You fast forward to Jurassic World, and you've had 2 other movies behind it basically doing the same bullshit with the same ingredients. Oh no, what happens when the dinosaurs escape and they go into the city? All of a sudden, it's Godzilla, just not called Godzilla. All right? But then you have this new film where they're like, what do we do? How do we up the ante? Oh, look, over there, genetics. Let's splice some shit together, come up with a fucking dinosaur, and now we have a movie. I'm sorry, it's a stupid cheap heat idea of coming up with the concept for a movie when you had the original formula, and then you introduced the old park, which I thought was fucking awesome. It just sounded like they were trying to reestablish the park, make it safer, blah, blah. Okay, cool. You still can't fuck with nature, so you're still screwed. There's your premise for a movie. Don't create this fucking thing. You already have Chris Pratt and whoever that chick was, both great actors.
You already have this great person in whatever that other chick's name is.
I don't remember her name. I need to take a break real quick, so.
All right.
I'll be right back.
All right, guys. Looks like it's just me then for a minute. Oh. So yeah, I didn't like it. I did like, spoilers, I did like that they brought in Mechagodzilla though. Like that was a really cool thing that they were able to add to that. But would King Kong be a close representation of Bigfoot? Like, do you think in the world that King Kong exists that Bigfoot doesn't? Or that, like, they don't have to worry about finding Bigfoot because they've got this, 600-foot tall gorilla? Still kind of hoping that Mothra would have made, like, some kind of an entrance in it. I don't know what else they're really gonna freaking do with that franchise. Like, they pretty much just killed it. I don't mean killed it as in, like, they did amazing with it. I mean killed it as in, like, it's done. Like, they need to come out with something new, because you can't keep being like, oh, they're going to fight each other if they ever find each other. Like, I don't know. That and things that are, Wow. Is she around to see this? Is the question. Is Heather out there somewhere? Don't think she is. I think you're safe for now, Ray. But, oh, by the way, Ray, are you going to be getting on Call of Duty tonight? I tried messaging you and Heather last night, but you guys just ignored me. I felt very unloved and lonely. Also, man, I need to get you on the stream every once in a while. I feel like the only time that I talk to you is like in here or just in our random mass games. Like we never actually do anything. But yeah. Hopefully Sarah's not too pissed at me from last night. I was kind of mean to her. Heather thought it was funny. Joe thought it was funny, which made Sarah even more pissed, I think. But yeah. Oh, who else is out here tonight taking in the podcast? Oh, you're home. Well, welcome home, Missa. Well, Missa, when you're over in your corner playing WoW, I don't really want to bug you with my, hey, Missa, come, shoot people in the face with me. You don't really want to do that. That's not really your thing. But me and Ray can be homies and, shoot people in, the face and in the legs. I'm going to take a real quick break so that Missa can walk in and you guys aren't completely deafened by puppy barks. So, Missa, hurry up. I'm going to send the puppies out to attack you. Be right back, guys. Alright, Missa's home. Puppies are outside attacking her. Damn, Darren really had to take a long piss break. He just ate dinner. So, before stream, I normally, shower, and I make sure I've used the bathroom and everything else, so I don't have to take many breaks. Unless you guys make me, pound bottles of water endlessly, in which case, well, I have no control over that. But did I miss a text from somebody? I think I did. Nope, just a mess up. Puppy, come here. There we go. Oh. Yeah, Batty Dog, you get to hang out with me now. You're gonna be my buddy until Darren comes back. Yeah, huh. Here, say hi to your friends. Yeah, right there.
And Grandma.
And Grandma. Hi, guys. Yeah. Oh, don't jump over the top. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're not nearly as young as you used to be. Stop your barking. And he's back.
All right. What? Oh, I like how as soon as it comes up, I turn it off to reset it. There we go.
But yeah, so I got a follow from Sarah last night. That was not something I was expecting. I really hope I didn't actually piss her off last night.
No, like I said, I don't think she noticed anything, but Joe was actually the one immediately is Doc upset with us? Because he didn't turn us back on or anything like that. He was genuinely afraid that he got you in trouble.
Oh, no. Well, I stopped it before. Here's the whole thing, right? I don't actually care about the conversation. And if someone were to go back, watch the VOD or anything like that, they would see that I took action to stop it.
Correct.
and that's the best I can do, right? Is do
Right.
that. We only actually played one game. It just happened to be a super long game. He was only muted for
Yeah.
one game. I was actually in the process of trying to unmute him. I didn't hear any of your guys' conversation, and all of a sudden, everyone disappeared.
Oh shit.
So I figured that everyone got pissed at me. I'm like, oh, this is stupid.
That's the one credit I will give Discord is like what you were talking about, like when you're transitioning from one part of the game to the next, like the preload screen or whatever, and the mic cuts off. I will give you that. It is nice to keep the conversation going, especially in that situation where we all said, "Yeah, we're done," because we had been playing almost for 2 hours at that point.
2
and
hours, Jesus.
I think Sarah and Joe wanted to watch something. But no, they weren't. Joe was just genuinely afraid that he actually got you in trouble.
Oh no,
So I explained it to him. I'm
Okay.
like, no, if he were pissed, he would have let you know. He would have cut bait and
I
did something
don't
else.
I don't rage quit. That's one thing I do not do. It's just I will mute myself and everything else. Like you guys just won't hear me anymore. And then at the very end of that game or whatever, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm good, peace. And then I would leave pretty quickly. But I don't actually rage quit. It's not something I've ever done. My mom says hi, by the way.
Hello, Aunt Mom Janine.
Did you almost call her Aunt Janine?
Yep. I don't know why.
Wow.
I like how she had no shame in that either. You're like, I don't know why, but it almost happened.
Well, okay, let's be honest. More people call her Aunt Janine than Mom, all right?
True.
I have a lot of cousins, like a shit ton of cousins. On my dad's side, so he's one of 6, and I'm the only child on my dad's side.
My mom is one of 6 children. On my dad's side, he's one of 3.
So my mom is one of 5 with a stepsister and a half sister. All of them have at least one kid. And then my dad's side, like I said, I am the only child on my dad's side. So they all have 2 or more. I think it's somewhere between 2 and 5. It's nuts. But did you watch King Kong versus Godzilla?
No. Godzilla and King Kong are again in the same boat that I have with. They're in a different boat than Jurassic Park, but a similar one where it's like again there's only so much you're gonna do with fucking King Kong and Godzilla.
So then, do you actually have a problem when they reboot series?
Not necessarily. So when they rebooted the whole Godzilla thing, I was in the same position of like, cool, you're doing a reboot of something I never cared for to begin with. You do you. Never watched the first one. I'm not gonna watch this one.
You didn't watch the fucking P. Diddy back when he was back when he was still Puff Daddy?
No.
Andy, they're absolute trash. Like the Godzilla movie was fucking horrible.
The Ninja Turtle reboot. I think there were actually 2 reboots on that. One was a 3D animated one. The 3D animated one was actually kind of cool. It wasn't a reboot. It was a continuation from the previous 3 films, and you didn't pick up on that connection until like one of the last scenes. But let's see. Let me get your other shit up. Fuck.
You brought up Mortal Kombat, so that's a 2.
No, I didn't actually bring it up because I said I'm not bringing it up.
By not bringing it up, you brought it up. Come on, you had to do something about it. I don't know why my Facebook one is being stupid, but well. As long as the Twitch one is working, I think that is.
Thank you, Andy. Yes, they looked nothing like the fucking Ninja Turtles. I was so unbelievably pissed with that shit, which is sad too because Megan Fox, one, is really hot, and
that's it.
I was kind of excited to see how she'd do April O'Neil. She was a huge disappointment.
Can you name another quality of Megan Fox other than being hot?
I think okay, so the reason why you can't really do it's kind of an unfair question. It's because I don't know if she screwed herself with something she said publicly or just the ruffling of feathers that she did with the studio that kind of blackballed her in the industry. She basically, other than Transformers, never really got a chance to prove her acting worth. It's kind of like saying Jennifer Aniston said something fucked up while she was doing Friends and never got another part there after that. Well, Jennifer Aniston's not that bad of an actress, and she's got a whole laundry list of good movies to prove that. Granted, she is a bit of a typecast, but Megan Fox never really got that opportunity because of the fact that she got blackballed so early on. So there's really no knowing to how good of an actress she might be or could have been. I don't know what her situation is. Bottom line, the Ninja Turtle reboot was horrible. Spider-Man, on the other hand,
Which one?
There you go. So Tobey Maguire he made Peter Parker look like a fucking wuss. I hated those films. Andrew Garfield nailed the personality, and the story was kind of dead on point. However, he just didn't fit the bill of Peter Parker. Tom Holland nails it to a T, but the problem is if you're going to Peter Parker in high school when he gets the Spidey juice or the Spidey bite.
Spidey juice.
Yeah, the Spidey juice.
I'm pretty sure that's a category on those adult sites I brought up.
I know, right? But once he gets bitten by the spider 6 months later, he's involved in Civil War. So if he's still in high school, where the fuck is Gwen Stacy and why is MJ showing up first? Gwen Stacy is a pivotal fucking point in the story. So, and her death kind of leads into the relationship between Peter Parker and MJ. Where's Gwen Stacy in all this?
Here's the thing. I never even knew Gwen Stacy existed.
I am not a comic book guy, but once The Amazing Spider-Man came out, I dug that shit up. And I had already hated the first 3 films. I just had more reason to hate them.
Oh, yeah, Yeah.
Yes. The Sam, was it the Sam Raimi series that are the first 3?
I don't know. All I know is that I actually liked the first Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, not so much, and the third one, all I remember is emo Spidey.
Yeah, he
just became like Peter Parker in that thing. It was Megan's Law, Peter Parker. Okay, like he was just no emo Spidey was that uncle you don't leave your kids alone with type Spidey. Okay,
no. Tobey Maguire was such a wuss. There was so much injustice brought upon the character of Peter Parker by casting Tobey Maguire. Sorry. Again, Tobey Maguire is not a bad actor, but no. Anyone could have beaten the shit out of him.
I think we lost Darren again.
Yeah, you did.
He's still talking, but yeah, he's gone. Yeah, see, I like the Tobey Spider-Man. I kind of think Darren's alone on this one.
Coming back.
Andrew Garfield, whatever. I'm not a huge fan. I like the storyline, but not a huge fan of the whole thing. Tom Holland,
more accurate.
Tom Holland, I do like. Yes. I do like how he did the whole thing, just because. And the thing is, I never saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I only saw him in Civil War, and just his whole, how much he absolutely loves and like idolizes Tony Stark. I just love that character.
He so Homecoming and Far From Home are definitely worth seeing. I have the old MCU list, and actually Disney does it. If you want to watch it in story order, they actually do that, which is kind of cool. Like not release of the films, but in the story order. So like Captain Marvel that got released in 2017 or 2018. That actually is the second film you have to watch. Because
Captain America should be the first one, right?
Captain America is the first one by all definition, and then Captain Marvel, technically, that story starts in 1980 or 1989 or 1990, something like that. But the main story starts in 1995, which is several years before Tony Stark and Incredible Hulk and all that. But no, the Spider-Man films, Far From Home and Homecoming, definitely worth seeing because Tom Holland's Spider-Man is that perfect in combination of sarcastic humor, um, coupled with innocent teenage bullshit.
See, I
He's
never.
a good kid overall, but then he gets these abilities, and he goes from wanting to be something big to just wanting to live his life, and shit gets thrusted upon him.
So that was so then was it the original cartoon that just got the whole thing wrong? Because like I know that everything is supposed to happen to him on high school, whatever it is, but like I always saw him as just a full grown man that was just kind of an asshole with his snarky comments.
If I remember correctly, the cartoon is kind of a hybrid where part of it is mostly him in high school, and then part of it is during the collegiate years. And I don't think he works at the Daily Bugle until after high school. I can't remember. Um, Weapon would actually be a person to ask, but I mean, you can always Google it. But uh, I think the cartoon was a blend of some of those stories to make sense over the course of X amount of seasons.
All right.
Whereas, like, I'm trying to remember where Venom comes into play, because the cartoon actually got it right as far as the introduction of Venom. But where and when it takes place, as far as Peter Parker in high school versus college, I don't remember. But I know the cartoon got it wrong with Gwen Stacy.
You're
I do
obsessed
know
with
that
Gwen
much.
Stacy.
Gwen Stacy, her death is called the end of the golden age of comics. Comics where the heroes always win, they rescue the damsels, blah blah blah, and then the death of Gwen Stacy was the failure of a fucking hero. It had a ripple effect in everything, and that's why she's that important.
Oh yeah. See, I've gone all these years without ever knowing that name. The only Stacy
Yeah.
I've ever wondered about is Stacy's mom, and that's about the end of it.
That's a good song,
It was a good song.
and she's got it
Oh.
going on. I'll just end my stream now. See you later.
But yeah, the whole comic book thing, like, it's a lot of fun, and I guess you just take the things way too seriously.
No, I don't. Maybe
You take
I
a
think
make-believe world too seriously.
it's not the fact that I take a make believe world too seriously. It's the fact that Andy, I will come back to your comment. Because Venom is one of my favorite stories, but it's mostly staying true to the story as best as possible given the parameters of what you have to work with. And Iron Man is the best example for that. Or the first Iron Man film, I should say.
You know what? I think we're gonna be friends.
Marvel didn't have access to the X-Men characters. They didn't have access to Spider-Man at that time.
Seth, thank you so much for the sub, by the way. 4 months, dude.
Nice. And also, I don't remember where he was testing his technology at in the comics, but from what I remember, people were saying that they actually used the war in Afghanistan, which was going on at that time, as a means of a testing ground for his technology, which everybody, including myself, loved as a concept.
Mhm.
They changed one little thing to make it relevant. Yeah, it's not true to the original story, but it makes it relevant. Okay, I'm sold. Speaking of Venom, I know this is just my personal opinion. I wanted to hate the movie because I have a dislike for Tom Hardy. Wow. And how he fucked up Mad Max and the Craze. Okay, I can't argue that because for one, I never saw Mad Max. I never saw any of the Mad Maxes for that matter. But Venom is one of my favorite fucking stories. It's the only comic book story I ever followed. And I thought Tom Hardy did a great job as Eddie Brock / Venom. I thought the voiceover of Venom was great. Venom himself looked great. The biggest problem I have with the movie Venom is it had nothing to do with the actual story of how Venom came to be. And Venom, the symbiote of Venom, starts with Peter Parker. Peter Parker then rejects it, and the symbiote has a reason to hate Peter Parker. Eddie Brock already has an axe to grind with Peter Parker, and when the two shall meet, all of a sudden it's the making of the perfect anti-hero, which is why Venom has Spider-Man's abilities. So for them to not bring all that in, I thought was just fucking ludicrous. But I thought Tom Hardy did great.
Wow.
That was my opinion.
Andy has very strong opinions of the Mad Max remake.
I feel for you, man. That's how I am with the Ninja Turtle reboot and Mortal Kombat.
Hold on.
I said that one on purpose. Andy, I don't know if you saw the last few streams, but I am not going to shit on Mortal Kombat any further
hold on.
because we buried that coffin as far as I'm concerned. It's done and over with. I hate it.
He never even saw it, by the way, and he hates it.
I've seen enough clips to have an unrivaled hatred for it.
Yeah, he's never even seen it. Like, I even stayed up after a long night of work to watch it for the podcast, just for this motherfucker to be like, yeah, I didn't watch it.
And one of the reasons why I didn't watch it is because of the Ninja Turtle reboot. When I saw it, I had already seen the trailer, and I'm like, they already fucked this up. They false advertising. They said it was going to be live action. No, this is CGI bullshit with roided up turtles. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Whatever childhood shit, I will suffer the hour and a half to watch this and see if there's anything relevant to take from it. And there wasn't. That is an hour and a half of my life I will not get back, and I will never do that to myself again.
I don't know. You should. Yes, you do. You sit here and watch my streams. These are hours of your life you're never getting back.
How do you want me to make you feel? Do you want me to make you feel this big or this big?
So anyway,
this big is it's at the end of my night and I got nothing else to do.
So you're saying there's a chance?
This big? You're my friend and I'm going to support you.
Thank you, Darren. You are
only at the end of my night, though.
A gentleman and a scrotum, or whatever that's the whole saying goes.
I like that one. I'm gonna use it.
What? Genitals and a scrotum?
Oh, I thought you said a gentleman and a scrotum.
Something like that. Wow.
I have to get fairly lit to watch your stream.
Damn, I'm being hit by all angles right now. Even Mrs. laughing at me now. She said she's coughing. I think she's covering up she's stifling a laugh with her cough. But
yeah,
you should actually go back and watch it just to say that you've actually watched it.
No, especially when Weapon had already like conceded to the fact that I was right about that film. I'm like, I have no further need to see this or support this.
What was it? So did you guys watch Critical Drinker? No. Johnny, I have not seen it. I have no idea what it is. I will now have to go look it up. Because that just sounds like something that I may want to go watch. I'm not even sure. Alright, next whole thing about reboot, since we're just talking about the whole reboot thing.
Sure.
Oh, he's a YouTuber. Okay. Then I might have to go check him out. I thought we were talking about movies. Excuse me, movies still. Batman reboots.
Never really cared for DC in general, but I thought the Michael Keaton films were great. Can't really take anything away from that. I love because so Val Kilmer and George Clooney, you can't really consider them reboots, right? Because they're continuances of the story, if I remember correctly.
The thing is that yes, they were continuations of it, but really there was like none of the movies have ever actually had any kind of like flow to it until the newer ones came out. They were
that makes sense.
They were different villains. They were different. They were the same or different Batmans. So you could
it was different Batmans, but and standalone stories, but they were all connected somehow, some way. Especially when you introduce Chris O'Donnell, because Chris O'Donnell is Robin, and he showed up not only in that film but in the next film, and then it's just a recast. So
yeah, the thing is they didn't even do. That's what I'm saying. Like, so a lot of them were like we were saying, they are standalones. They are their own things altogether. You could technically put them in a timeline purely because of when they meet people. There are slight little nods and throwbacks to things, like when they talk about whoever's in jail or escaped or whatever it happens to be, because there is a a thing. Have a good night, Mom. So it really depends on which part of the comic book, Andy, because there is the original comic book that was very like lovey, campy, never kill a person type thing, right? And then there is the actual dark side of it. So if you take like the original, the like far back original Batman with like Adam West, you never find out about his parents dying or being murdered, and it's always like the same six dudes that he's trying to lock up, and it's almost.
You also got to remember the Adam West ones were like in the 50s and 60s, or 60s and 70s, something like that.
Granted, but still, it's
different censorship time.
Yes, but still, like it kind of depends, because like the reboot. Yes,
I'm gonna get to that.
Yes,
because I never cared for DC, but as far as the Batman films are concerned,
not much. Masks. How are you tonight?
I've seen a lot of them.
I don't like them, but I've watched them.
The Michael Keaton ones obviously are great in their own right. For what Andy just said, the Michael Keaton ones stuck to the original comic book, which I can appreciate, but not having read the comic and still liking the film says kind of a lot. Also, Jack Nicholson as the Joker. The only person that could have rivaled that, which is my next subject, is the Christian Bale series, which I thought was fantastic through and through. Loved the origin story, and I agree. The only person that can rival Jack Nicholson is Heath Ledger. I thought that Joker was not only maybe in some ways better than Jack Nicholson. I'm gonna step on a ledge to say that, but he was also
you
more
mean realistic. Step on a ledger?
I'll step on a ledge. I see what you did there.
Continue.
But his version of the Joker was also more realistic. It wasn't the campy, cartoony humor of the 80s with Jack Nicholson. It was a very authentic, chaos-loving kind of person, who claimed he didn't have a plan. Clearly he did. And had a vendetta. As far as the Batfleck series,
I don't know how you could have an Affleck movie without
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Best movie ever.
I think I think Weapon was the one that was actually pointing it out when Heath Ledger was first cast as the Joker. There were a lot of reservations that people were going to have about his interpretation of the Joker, and guess what? He not only proved them wrong, but proved them wrong in spades. The same sort of, I guess, courtesy needed to be given to Ben Affleck, because you don't know how he's going to portray the character. I thought Ben Affleck didn't do that bad of a job. I would place Batman versus Superman and Justice League solely on writing and direction, because I didn't think Ben Affleck did that bad of a job. Henry Cavill as Superman, fucking awesome.
Yep.
I thought Man of Steel was great, except the last 45 minutes.
Except half the movie.
Just the fight between him and General Zod.
That's the whole thing.
Fucking overkill.
I honestly really liked the story, like the build-up and the actual writing and
how they went back and forth.
And honestly, I liked everything about the Superman movie that wasn't Superman. Like, it was just him for the most part, and it was almost like if you had taken Superman and that entire thing up before the whole Zog thing came in, and then
Andy, I will counter you in just 1 second.
But if you had taken that whole thing, but then replaced Superman with Hitchcock, Will Smith Hitchcock, right? And then went immediately to like the Depression and everything else without General Zog, I think that would have been an amazing
my only
full
issue
circle.
with Man of Steel. The only issue I ever had with Man of Steel is the last 45 minutes where there was just so much fucking destruction between those two. It's like, dude, can you just save it for like an epic 10-minute battle and do a little bit more to the story?
No, they had to burn their budget.
I guess.
They had this gigantic budget that they had to burn, and they're like, the fuck we gonna do? All right, well, let's buy a life-sized version of the Empire State Building and just demolish it. Sounds great. Wasn't a Michael Bay film, was it?
I don't remember.
All right, go ahead and counter Andy.
It was great. Also on DC movies, IMO DC can't make good movies. That's correct. They only have, I guess, what is it? The DCEU. The only two good films they have is Man of Steel and Wonder Woman, and they still don't. They pale in comparison. Like, if you were to rack and stack all the fucking Marvel films, the ones you have at the bottom of the list are still better than fucking Man of Steel. Wonder Woman.
No. The Hulk with Edward Norton was an absolute shit show.
Still better than Man of Steel.
No, I can't. That the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, like whatever, just the Hulk movies in general were just
Eric Bana was not great. They're just bad. But the Edward Norton one, definitely better in spades over fucking DC.
Oh my god, it was just. We don't talk about the Hulk. Thank you.
However, but make decent TV shows. Marvel makes decent movies, but can't make decent TV shows with the exception of Red. So if you're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you might be correct, because the first 3 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are actually pretty good. The latter few seasons, I think like the season where Ghost Rider was introduced, I think like half that season was good, and then the rest went to shit, and then the rest of the seasons went to shit from there. However, WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, fucking awesome.
Those, okay, I don't even consider those the TV shows that he's talking about, because he's talking about primetime TV shows. He's talking about The Flash. He's talking about like the weekly episode type thing, not these like HBO, not these like...
Yeah, but he's saying DC makes better TV shows.
Right, he's talking about like The Flash. He's talking about The Punisher. He's talking about...
All right, I think Andy's gonna have to clarify. Is it just like TV shows in general, regardless of medium?
No, he's talking about Flash and Arrow. He's talking about like WB. He's talking about like the actual like, primetime type things, not these. Basically, like the fucking soap operas of things. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a kind of thing that would be comparable to it, or what is it? Luke Cage. Like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, those types of things. We're not talking about those. We're not talking about like the HBO type.
I actually haven't seen Luke Cage or Jessica Jones, and I didn't even know that they were fucking Marvel characters. So, and I think The Runaways.
No idea what that is. Yeah, and Andy's talking about like the miniseries, not like the Winter Soldier thing, dude. That is taking, A-list actors and then putting them into a TV show. Same thing with WandaVision. You take these people that are already made in these like movies and everything else, and then you're doing a spin-off of the movie.
Well, the thing, like, I don't know about Falcon Winter Soldier because I think they are slated to do another season. But WandaVision was only slated to do 1 season, but and each of those episodes are 30 to 45 minutes. I think there's 8 or 10 episodes. If you do the math on that, that's about a 2-part movie. So,
right.
I thought both were great.
Oh no, because we're not shitting on them. We're saying that they're in a different league because those are basically movies turned into TV shows. Those are going off
of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Luke Cage.
Yes, compared to like The Flash, Arrow, what the hell?
It's C-3PO. I was like, I'm shitting on him.
Yeah.
Kind of like begging for more money. Yes and no.
He's right though. They were way too fucking woke.
Oh, what, like the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and all those?
No. Fucking WandaVision and Winter Soldier. Oh my god, they were so fucking woke.
Winter Soldier for sure was had some woke elements to it, but what about WandaVision?
Oh no, there was who the hell was the guy from Red Skull? There was like they completely changed who the writer was, and there was a poster in the background that was actually like shitting on a conservative journalist and pretty much making him out to be Red Skull, like Hitler and everything else. Like, oh, the entire thing was completely fucking woke. I will find it. I will find you the article and send it to you at some point. But
I don't remember if anything, I remember WandaVision for trying to mimic a 1950s sitcom. They nailed it to a T.
Here's the thing: I never watched them. I only heard the snippets and seen like the pieces of the wokeness.
Since everything is done now, like the season's complete, you can watch it like from start to finish. It's fucking good because it's very cryptic. Long story short, after Endgame, WandaVision goes, or Wanda Maximoff kind of goes a little off the rail. But the ability that the Mind Stone gave her, spoiler alert, gives her the Scarlet Witch powers, and the Scarlet Witch is what's called a Nexus being. Only her abilities haven't been fully utilized yet. And the rage she feels in losing Vision, with them having had planned everything out for him only to die. A fourth loved one, actually, because her parents died in an explosion as a result of Stark Tech. Her brother died at the hands of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vision, she had to not only kill him, but then Thanos brought him back just to pluck the Mind Stone out of his head. So she had to watch him die a second time.
By the way, 3PO is right, and by your definition, you should hate WandaVision.
So, correct.
By your definition, you should hate it.
But here's the issue. Again, I already stated this. Given the parameters of what they had at the time. All right? So, at the time Scarlet Witch was introduced to the MCU, what license did Marvel not have access to?
Doesn't matter, they're not canon.
Fox. They didn't have access to Fox.
Doesn't matter, not canon. Baraka was in Mortal Kombat. Not canon. I'm bringing it up. I can take a point off if you want. Not Baraka. The fuck, the dude that you kept shitting on.
Reiko.
No. There was someone...
Reiko and Natara have nothing to do with the first Mortal Kombat.
No, it was someone else.
And you brought it up, so it doesn't count.
I know, like I said, I'll even take a point off if you want. But no, and he's right. Quicksilver is actually from
Quicksilver does live. But here's what people missed. What was in the beginning of Age of Ultron when what's his name, Hawkeye gets shot? That tissue regeneration shit, right? Did they actually have a funeral for Quicksilver? No. So is he actually dead? Probably not. He could be with the fucking X-Men at this point, which they haven't introduced yet because the license agreement or the license comes back to Marvel this year.
No, but the thing is you just said that Scarlet Witch's parents died in an explosion. The problem is that Scarlet Witch's dad is not dead. He's actually a Holocaust survivor that is a class mutant, whatever you want to call it.
Same with Quicksilver's. But again, what is Magneto's name? Eric Lensher. If their name is Eric Lensher, then why is it Pietro and Wanda Maximoff?
Because it's not canon.
The mother could have kept their names and met a different dude, leaving Eric Lensher because he's fucking crazy, which he is, and decided to keep the name Maximoff as opposed to Lensher. You can bridge that.
You are making excuses that they will probably try to retcon because you
No.
can't admit that your own theories and your own standards can't be met by yourself.
Andy's kind of correct. They were two different movie companies at that time. However, I believe Disney bought all of Fox Media except Fox News.
Yes.
I think it was 2017 or 2018.
Yes,
but however, the deal
Magneto is Wanda's dad.
Correct. Magneto is Wanda and Quicksilver's dad. However, Magneto is part of the X-Men universe, which was licensed to Fox. Disney buys Fox in 2018, I think it was. The deal is not set to be finalized until this year, which means it's a question of how they're going to introduce X-Men to all this and whether or not Deadpool would get a reboot.
Oh, I don't want a reboot. I just want another Deadpool.
They don't need it. So Deadpool is one of those things that you can just retcon, because in the first film, you can clearly see a helicarrier in the final battle.
Okay, actually, so they've already kind of fucked the whole Deadpool thing as a whole, because in Wolverine Origins, that is Deadpool, and he literally kills Deadpool when it's still Wade.
End credit scene. He's still alive.
I don't remember Deadpool still being alive at the end of that.
But again, so that was before Days of Future Past, where they alter the timeline. Now,
as soon as time travel comes in, that's when I lose interest.
Yeah, that's when you lose it. Days of Future Past was very linear, though, when it comes to time travel. It was that was easier to follow. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, when you're dealing with Back to the Future style time travel, it's very easy to follow. When you start getting into multiverse shit, and this is where I get into arguments with Joe about this bullshit. For example, I'm guessing everyone in here has seen Endgame, so therefore I'm not going to say spoiler alert, but spoiler alert. If Thanos travels from 2014 to 2023, then Infinity War never took place. Which means Vision is still alive. But because of the fact that it's a multiverse, it's just a different time altogether. Which to me just is a little fucking ludicrous, a little fucking weird. You can introduce elements of string theory to it. And according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, he said, sure, it's probably true under the rules of mumbo jumbo. I think he quoted it as that.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo. Speaking of mumbo jumbo, he is a really good redstone builder in Minecraft. I actually follow him on YouTube.
Yeah, he does. I've seen some of his podcasts, and he's interesting to listen to.
Oh, speaking of which, I just want to bring this up for everyone in here really quick before you guys go off on other things. I am actually going to be starting a Minecraft server, so I would like... Oh, shut the fuck up.
My nephew will love you. He lives for Minecraft.
Here's the thing: if you play with him, yes. If you're bringing him, if he's coming on by himself, no.
Just out of curiosity, what's your
reasoning?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to babysit or have to worry about content for someone else's child. Everything that I do is 18 plus. Granted, there is some other stuff, but the server itself will be 18.
I think you might have missed my point. He would be interested in watching your shit. Not necessarily joining you.
Okay. No. I thought you meant that he would want to join the server. No. In which case I'm like, I'm a little... I'm iffy on that.
You know me, right? My... demented personality and
yes, and what you and here's the whole thing. So, and this has actually been the same way with like a lot of my friends' kids and everything else, right? So, and like C3PO is a perfect example. All right, they will say things and do things in front of their kids that I will not do because it is their kids, it is their thing. I'm going to show them the same kind of respect that I would expect them to show to my kids. So I'm not going to, like, go up to their kid and say, fuck off. I know for a 100% fact that Chelsea will say that to her son. And that she will say that probably at some point to the Straw Baby. I will never do that.
My sister, I swear to God, no one can hold a candle to how like it's my niece and nephew are like God's gift to fucking parents. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they were born, yeah, I tried toning it up a little bit and be like, all right, I can't really say, my normal English in front of
Mhm.
them because eventually they're going to start mimicking shit.
Yes.
Well, I guess early on for the both of them, they were too smart because my nephew and my niece, for that matter, hate disappointing their parents. It's not whether or not they want to. They hate doing it.
Is the dad Asian?
No.
Oh, okay. That just seems very Asian.
Ethnicity's out the window with how weird this is. And to that extent, I'm like, okay, let's be a little bit more me so they get used to that. And so I started throwing the F-bombs and S-bombs very frugally, but I would just, normal conversation.
Mhm.
And it was mostly conversation I was having with other adults. Let them, pick up on it and be like, okay, this is what adults are talking about. I swear to God, these kids are fucking so smart that they would go to your server,
Mm-hmm.
Just in hypothetical. They'll be like, oh, this guy's cool. Wait a minute. He's saying a lot of shit we're not supposed to know. We're going to leave. My nephew's not even 12. And he already knows to do this shit.
Go him.
So, yeah. So that is not something you have to worry about. But if anything, he would probably watch your stream.
Okay. The whole thing is, it's not something that I would worry about. And here's the thing. If I am having a conversation with someone and a child walks up, I'm probably going to continue my conversation as it was. If the child is already there, I will curb part of my conversation because the child is technically, even though they are not partaking in the conversation, they are technically a part of that conversation at that point.
I do what I can't. Like when Hudson, Joe's girlfriend's kid,
Okay.
And I can already kind of tell by his personality, he's the very typical terrible twos sort of thing. When he starts being able to pick up on words and he starts reciting them,
that's a great picture. Oh, that was such a good face.
Yeah.
Hey, Mass, do me a favor and clip that and add that to the Discord, please. That was a great face.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. But Heather's kid is the shining example. When Hudson starts being able to pick up on words and being able to repeat them, that's when I'm going to have to turn on the filter because I don't want him reciting certain things. And I try to do the same thing for Heather's kid, Braden, because there was that one, I don't know if it was on stream or not, but you know how me and Heather like to say, hey, what's up, ho?
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden one day in the very back of Heather's room, but the mic picked up on it, you could hear him say, what's up, ho? And it's like, oh, shit. But yeah, so right, ABCs is like A for arsehole, B is for bastard, C is for, yeah, I'm not gonna say that one, but
you can only say it if you're British or if you're Australian.
I'm neither because I hate that term, but
what about moist? I know there's a lot of people that don't like moist.
I love that word.
You love the word moist?
That's my clan tag name. But again, around kids, especially ones that I don't know, or when Hudson starts picking up on words, or when Braden's around, yes, I try and turn the filter on as best I can. Yes, there's going to be slip ups, because I know my niece and nephew are the exception to everything because they know not to do certain things that adults do.
I guess for me, as long as, I guess if you, because I mean, you know how I stream, you know the kind of things that I say, the kind of things I do, whatever it is, especially when I am streaming, it's even slightly toned down from what it would normally be, and that's, within reason. If you and your sister are okay with them being in there, I'm fine with it, but the stream is, my whole stream, my channel and everything is marked 18+. Now, if they're okay with that, fine. That is on the parents. That is on whatever it is.
But I
But
tell
it
you
is
right now, they're gonna see that they'll see the 18 plus and they'll immediately back out.
okay. Well,
I
then
guarantee you.
Darren, funny man.
They're that divine of children.
Okay, I gotta see this clip.
He
Fuck
starts
off.
being able to pick up on words and he starts reciting them.
Oh, that is beautiful.
That's a great picture.
That is fucking beautiful.
No, that's actually my O face.
All right, guys, that will be on the Discord. I'll make sure that everyone can see that. Weapon, how are you doing tonight? But
Hey,
no,
you missed it. We were bringing up all sorts of movie related shit.
but yeah, I would like from everyone that's in here that would like to take part in a Minecraft server of any kind. Drop me ideas as to what you would want. Fully modded, partially modded. I've only ever played vanilla. And with the new update coming out, I'm kind of looking forward to the whole Caves and Cliffs type thing. So I know that I've lost Darren. He's bored as shit, but it's fine.
I forgot. I have a webcam. Shit.
Yeah, I forgot, asshole. But it is something that I do want to do because my normal community type thing is D3, of course, and that is just such a dead game right now that I want to try to do something else that I can do with a community and build a community around. I just can't do shit with Diablo for the time being.
I just remembered I asked my nephew the other day and I'm like, hey, motherfucker, why don't you watch my stream anymore? I didn't really say motherfucker. I did say you little shit. And because that son of a bitch gets me into trouble.
Uh-oh.
So there was one time I had to take him to school and I'm not a parent. I don't know the law. So I'm like, no, you're with Uncle D. You're in the front seat today. I didn't know that even in a child seat, he can't be in the front passenger seat. I didn't know this. And so anyway, he was still in the child seat or anything. I secured all that. Took him to preschool. No big deal. Later on, my sister texts me and she's like, so I heard Ace got to sit co-pilot today. I'm like, yeah, so that's against the law, right? And I'm like, that little shit knows. That's how smart he is.
Oh, I thought you just froze again. I'm about to say someone clip the face, but no, never mind. He just stopped moving.
I was like, that little shit knows that rule. And so anyway, the other day I was like, hey, little shit, how come you don't watch my stream anymore? He's like, well, you're entertaining and all, but you just say a lot of adult words. I'm like, go you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, he's a good kid.
Oh, the best.
The best.
Again, I can't really even say he's the best kid. One, because it's a bias. It's my nephew, my niece. But at the same time, they are too perfect to compare to anybody else's kid. It's just, it wouldn't be fair to anybody else.
No, I think my dogs are cuter.
Wait till I don't know if I'm gonna say it.
Wait till your niece turns 18? What are you about to say?
Wait till you and Mrs. start breeding.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. My family makes really beautiful babies.
True, but let's take your charming personality for starters and embody that into your spawn.
Yeah. And then you take the Asian culture of not wanting to dishonor or to disappoint your parents.
But then there's your side of it where it's just like, let's see what happens if I do.
I didn't actually really do that until much, much later in life. When I realized that my actions weren't going to affect other people. So the only reason that I was actually a good kid growing up is I didn't want my actions to come back on my parents. Once I turned 18, that's when my shenanigans started.
I was kind of sort of the same way where like I was 21 at 13 and my folks allowed us to drink, under our roof.
Yep.
Don't drink.
If you're underage, do not drink.
Don't drink. Alcohol's a crutch.
Got a lot of crutches there, Darren.
A lot of crutches. But I think when I was 14, I went to someone's house. We had a bottle of tequila and 6 beers. Terrible decision. But I was only 2 miles away from home, and in hindsight, I could have walked back. But instead, the idiot that I am, I called my folks for a ride and get in the car, and they're like, "You've been drinking, haven't you?" And I'm like, "Well, cat's out of the bag now." Yeah. They're like, "We're disappointed that not because you've been drinking, but because you didn't tell us that's what you were going to do." So basically, they were trying to tell me that I don't have any rules. And if there are no rules for me, then there's nothing to break. And that's how I got curbed.
Through good old-fashioned Jewish guilt.
Pretty much. From a Christian family. Coming from a very Christian mother, it was Jewish guilt for sure.
Yeah, I always called my mom the Jew mom because she would, like, one, would guilt trip the fuck out of you, but two, she would shove food down your throat. It did not matter. She was always cooking, like, poor little Nick. Like, he always looked emancipated. And just... this dude is just tiny. He's, like, albino. He was balding at the age of, like, 9. Like... awesome dude. One of my best friends growing up lived down the street from me, but my mom would literally, like, as soon as he walked in the house, just start shoving food down his throat.
Nature was not kind to him, and neither was whoever you're talking about, just like shoving food down him.
Oh no, that was my mom. That was like,
oh, that was Mom Janine.
That was Mom Janine. That's like any time he literally lived like 5 houses down from me. All right. And so
that's kind of funny.
And then emancipated. Yes, that word, not emancipated.
I like how Even Weapon said it wrong.
I love how everyone's jumping on my ass all about emancipated. My bad, guys.
Say the wrong word. Multiple pouts.
No shit, right?
Getting attacked from all directions today. Yeah, now you know how it feels, fucker. Dude, you should have been on Weapon stream the other night. We were talking about like fart jokes or whatever. Oh, me and somebody else he knows, we just went off the rails.
But anyway, but my mom would literally, as soon as he walked in the door, would just be like, "You look hungry," and he's like, "No, I'm good. That's fine. Come on over." And just that poor guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in years, but of all the people that I like would pick on in high school,
aside from me, asshole,
you were kind of like the common target though. Someone like Nick, it was kind of backhanded because in a way I'm like, I'm not going to pick on this guy because aside from the fact that, he's very short, whatever, he's just a cool kid.
Oh, he was freaking awesome.
Yeah. You, on the other hand, were a piece of shit. So I'm like, yeah, you're going to have everything coming.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny this, but I had my redeeming points. My redeeming points, actually, yes, I was a very easy target. It was great, actually, because
in his defense, I wasn't an asshole in high school. I was an asshole after high school, but I was an asshole in high school.
Yeah. So I used to have a list of girls' phone numbers, and the way I would get into free movies is I would give the guy at the door a phone number for every ticket that I wanted over at Regal. So yeah, the list actually had like 600 females' phone numbers on it. And this is not shit I pulled out of a phone book. These are people that I actually hung out with, but because I was an easy target or whatever it was, yeah, a lot of them didn't want to actually be caught hanging out with me. So, but we'd all like joke and everything else. And it was fine. So I had like my small group of friends, and then the popular girls or whatever it was that didn't want to be seen with a theater kid or with the choir kid, whatever it happened to be.
Or the punk rocker.
So I was one of 5 guys in an entire choir department. And I was one of 2 guys that wasn't gay in the choir department. And the other one that wasn't gay was, we called him Yeti, actually. And he was a straight albino with like the snowy white hair, the slightly purplish eyes.
Was that a dude in my grade?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I was only in choir my senior year, so you were already gone. I think it was actually younger than me. But,
yeah, my bridge to all the popular girls was the girl I was dating at the time. And I don't think she was really that good of friends with all of them. She just knew some of them. And I even remember like some people saying, "Oh, you're dating him?"
oh, I was hat guy. So
Yeah.
So I used to wear different hats to
that.
school every day. I mean, and I'm not talking about like ball caps, like what Darren's wearing. I mean, like cat in the hats and like court jester hats and fedoras, berets. Like, so all of the girls that I dated were literally known as Hat Guy's girlfriend. And oh, they hated it.
Yeah.
But that's
I do
actually
remember-
partly
remember
where
you
the
wearing
name
the hat.
Dr. Zeus came from.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still trying to recollect some, memories from that, because it's like the older I get, more of those memories fade.
And you already had very few to begin with because of
Yeah.
substances.
Yep. No, leave it at that. Yeah, I still remember I brought like a vodka hot chocolate. I think it was 11th grade. that
Don't drink,
Mr.
kids.
Yeah, don't drink.
We do not condone drinking, underage drinking.
We don't condone drinking. Hence I hide my Bud Lights. But I brought like a vodka hot chocolate to one class. I think it was 11th grade, and it was a history teacher, male. You remember who he was? I won't name drop him,
Mr. Butts.
but not Mr. Butts.
Oh.
But he looks over at me, and it's like fucking 8:30 in the morning. My eyes are bloodshot. You can't sell this any better. And he picks up he comes over to me. He's like, "How you doing today?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And he picks up my my thermos. He's like, "Probably tastes pretty well," and hands it back to me. And I'm like, "Did I just get a free pass?"
There are only
We'll
like
find out later he's an alcoholic. It's like, all right.
yeah, there are only 3 history teachers that you could have gotten away with that with, and one of them was on the school board. Was that the one?
No, that was Collins.
That was Collins.
All right, it was not him, and it was not Butts. So you know who the third one is.
He was also an econ teacher.
I believe so. With the W.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's the only reason I graduated. He went over and threatened the choir teacher so that I would graduate high school. I had him for econ.
He actually saved my ass too during one of the finals. I'd finished mine early, aced it. I knew I aced it. I'm like, this is fucking easy, whatever. And I'm like, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, can I go get like a soda?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. You're good." Well, the rule is, unless you were finished with your test, you had to stay in the classroom. I had finished my test, and the nearest vending machine was, not halfway across campus, but it was in the middle of the quad where you're like out in the open. So I go out and get a soda and come back, and some yard dog was like, "You're supposed to be in class." And I'm like, "Already done my final." I literally mimicked them. And she didn't like that. And she's like, "What is your name?" And I'm like, "Go fuck yourself." And went back to the classroom and, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, someone's going to be coming at the door." "How come?" They didn't like the fact that I was out. So he's like, "Gotcha." She comes up to the door and she's like, like barking at the door. And all the eyes turn on me, and I'm like, "Don't worry, wait for it." And he's selling it as like, "How dare this student do this? I will take care of this right now," and just slams the door on her. And he's like, "That bitch."
So my final in his class, so the final prep day, right? So you're supposed to have a note card. and he has all this shit written up on the board, right? So you write down all this stuff. You're allowed front, back, whatever, but you're supposed to just write this whole thing down. The next day, he's like, all right, everyone that wrote down their note card, show it to me. All right, put your name on it. All right, leave. You passed. Those that did not follow instructions yesterday, here's a test.
Yep.
And the dude was awesome.
I had a college teacher once that asked us, he's like, hey, that book that you spent $200 on, sorry to say, but the lessons of being a college student is that you're a sucker.
Yep.
So pick up this book, hold it over here, drop it on the floor.
Yep.
It's all up here. So, and I'm going to teach you. And I'm like, this guy is awesome, and I'm not even mad.
The worst ones, though, are the criminal justice. Any law book at all is just, especially like tax law, like they change weekly.
They not weekly. They do change very frequently, but they mostly change every 4 years. Granted, it mostly depends on the administration. Now, they will change more periodically from time to time as like amendments to certain things, and usually those are like concessions between different bills.
I understand that, but like the actual law books, if you buy one, like if you buy like a tax law book from wherever, because they're only new, you never get a used one, and you go to sell it back the next day, it's already depreciated by 90%. Because they're never going to use it, even in the next class.
I think it's fucking ludicrous. And he says the schools over there sound so much better than here in the UK.
No, it's purely what we've made of it, and Darren and I both. It's as much shit as we talk and everything else. We are very realistic and slightly optimistic.
Sure, we'll go with that.
You are optimistic.
We're demented.
You.
We're fucked up. So,
yes.
I'm not gonna say whether or not our school system is better than yours or not. Our school experiences might have been better, but that's only because we made our own fun that by all accounts I should have been expelled for.
And I should not have graduated.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily make it good, but I'm not going to sit here and compare my experience to another country's because simply for the reason of I haven't experienced it. So,
here's the thing about that for me is that most people hated high school. Most people would not go back and redo it. And me, on the other hand, I would go back and do it. I would do it again. Dude, comedy sports, that improv shit.
Freshman year was weird.
Freshman year was weird.
But it should be weird.
Yeah, but after that, like, dude, do you remember just going literally all over Southern California to meet other improv people just to like...
No. I didn't do the only comedy sports I did was local at the school. I did go to a thespian festival.
D-Task.
Yeah, D-Task.
It was the one where Jay kept pinching Heather's butt, right?
Yeah. I've been meaning to tell you that story off stream, but whoa, novel. I'll come back to that. The only one that I went to was D-Task. And that was a miserable fucking day for me because I had been up all night. I can't remember why specifically. It might have been like an insomnia attack or something. But I didn't sleep at all. And the guy that I was doing a scene with, didn't wake up on time. So I told the teacher, and I think you were in the bus, I said, just go.
I was there with you.
You were there with me, but I told her, I'm like, just go.
That was JD, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I'm like, just go. I will catch up to you. I promise.
He was a worthless piece of shit.
And I kept calling him. I love JD. And I kept calling him. And I think it was like 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, dude, where are you? He's like, I just woke up. I'm like, get the fuck over here.
You know the bus left an hour and a half ago, right?
The bus is already left, but I'm still here. I will drive us there. Let's go. And we get on the road, and he's freaking out. I'm like, don't worry, dude. I will catch up to them. All of a sudden, I see the bus coming up, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to pull alongside, just wave to them. And I start honking, and everybody's just going crazy. Like, yeah, we made it.
I do remember that because I was actually in that with you. That was the Shakespeare, and it was the games of love. It was the tennis match and the hide and seek and the it was.
I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I remember that moment, doing the scene, not making it, thanking my fucking stars for not making it, and then passing out wherever it is we ended up.
Yeah, I met a lot of good friends. Met a lot of really good people, and people I talked to for fucking years after that at those types of competitions. Because I did 2 of those a year. I was actually a room chair and a judge at another one. The following year, which is the first year they did it, we actually went to Thespians, the International Thespian Society.
Let me go to your novel real quick. I've been told about this awesome math teachers, great sense of humor, blah, blah, blah. First day in class, I was told, wipe that smile off your face. We've heard that too, just not in school.
Oh no! There was a one teacher. I had an English teacher. I will drop her name 1,000 times over. Virginia Stout is an absolute cunt, and I hate her.
Who?
Virginia Stout.
Stout. I can't remember whether or not
she looked like Beavis.
I'd have to pull up a yearbook to
Oh
look.
my god, I absolutely hated that woman. I hated her so much that I literally went up to her, flipped her off so that I would get a referral to the office so I wouldn't have to sit in her class. Every single day. I hate that woman.
Yeah.
She came back to the school at one point and she's like, "Oh, Richard, how are you?" And I'm like, "Fuck you." And this was my junior year of high school still.
I'd done the hand squeaking off my smile off my face emotions. I was physically dragged out of the class by the teacher. If I don't care what generation you're in, if they had tried to do it with us in that time, that teacher probably got their ass whooped, and there wouldn't have been any cameras around to protect them. So,
we did not have cell phones.
No, we had cell phones. We didn't have smartphones.
Okay, yes, we had Snake. We had the Nokias.
I still have my Nokia somewhere, and it wasn't like the standard Nokia everybody else had. It was a smaller one. It was more compact. As a matter of fact, I was trying to put it on vibrate once before first period.
I bet you were.
And I was heading over to my girlfriend's homeroom to hang out with her, and because I didn't have responsibility to go to my own homeroom, whatever. And so I went and hung out with her. And
homeroom?
Yeah, homeroom before first period.
I never had that in high school.
I bet you did.
No, we had homeroom in junior high.
No, there was a homeroom before first period.
No, we just went straight to fucking class.
It was like 7:45, something like that.
Nope, that was just you fuck ups. Then you had a 0 period because.
All right, whatever. Probably. So anyway, I went to go hang out with my girlfriend at the time, and there was a teacher that she was notorious. She was called the cell phone Nazi, and she saw me across the quad, putting my phone on vibrate. She comes over to me as I'm putting my phone on vibrate because she's that fucking fast, and she's like, "You need to put your cell phone away and turn it off." And I'm like, "I'm putting it on vibrate." "You need to turn your cell phone off." "I'm putting it on vibrate." "What's your name?" "Darren." "What's your real name, John?"
You guessed it. It's John.
You got one letter right. And so I just went, Darren. Like, John is one syllable. And you got one of your possible 6 letters right. And one of those letters repeats. You can't fuck this up any worse than you have. So she's like, "You're toast." And I think this was the day before spring break too, senior year. So I get pulled into the fucking Vice's office, and
Mr. P?
No, it was not Mr. P.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And so I'm instantly thinking, I'm fucked.
If it's not P, you're fucked.
So I'm already gonna have to be more egregious than I didn't intend to be, just for the sake of starting a fucking fight.
Mm-hmm.
And she was actually very courteous. She was like, "Why does this?" She explicitly said to me, and I will never forget this. Why does this bitch have to do this before spring break?
Because she
Why?
hates children.
That's my guess.
That would be my
And
guess also.
she's like, You're free to go. I believe you." And I'm like, really? You're not picturing it right now for those watching, but I was a
Go
punk
ahead and say it.
rocker.
I'll just add another number.
What?
Oh, I thought you were about to bring up the home game again.
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll leave it at 4.
Like, imagine this face, but with bright pink hair or blue hair or green hair or black hair or whatever, or hair in general, with ratchet ass punk rock clothes, like maybe unshaven. I think I had a goatee a little bit, but otherwise no facial hair. Just ratchet as shit. And I was a punk rocker back then. That's what I did. And I looked at the Vice who hates children, and she's like, "I believe you. You're free to go." And I looked at her. I'm like, "Really?"
And that's when you're just like, why didn't I just shut up?
No, I was genuinely questioning it. And I'm like, "Is there something more to this teacher that I don't know about?" And she's like, "Yes, she's notorious about fucking cell phones on campus, that it's annoying." And I'm like, all right. There's some credibility to this.
All right, so Andy does have a completely different experience. He was 11 in 84. So yes, he was still being beaten by teachers.
Yeah.
I was 11 in 96.
I was 11 in 95.
Yeah.
So,
So yes, you have the decade on us, and that decade is, of course, the child beating decade.
Yep.
Especially in a foreign country. Now, out here, God, you can't even think about beating your child without CPS being called.
you can and you can't. It's in what context and in what I guess location that it's done. Granted, if you do it in a public place like a restaurant and you try to do what you would call capital punishment.
Corporal punishment.
Corporal punishment.
Capital punishment is executing someone.
Sorry. Delete. But if you try and do that shit in public,
Karen.
I guess it depends on where you are. So if you're in a very liberal area where they're against that, yeah, you're gonna get CPS called on your ass.
Trader Joe's, you're fucked.
Pretty much.
The gun and ammo shop, nah, you can take them out. Shit, they'll give you your belt, their belt for you. But
I can't even say a bad word to them. Oh, I said so many bad words to teachers in high school.
No, I think he's talking about the children now.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck that. No. If they have the ability to curse at me, I have the ability to curse back.
Absolutely.
They want to learn, they can learn the hard way.
With that, Darren, I do want to get those stories out of you at some point, but
I'll just text you privately on one of them.
On one of them.
Yeah. It pretty short and sweet.
That's always fun.
Good way to end the stream.
Yeah. Again, guys, let me know about that kind of stuff, and also, Darren, at some point we just need to do an AMA.
A what?
AMA. Ask me anything.
Oh, yeah, that's actually one of my redemptions.
Well, it's one of mine also, but people just don't do it. One of these days, I think we should do it as a Discord thing, not a recorded thing, so that we can give proper answers to our people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think information is always best given when it's people asking the questions, so I am unopposed to this idea. So,
guys, thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with us. You know what? Andy, who should we raid? You have been...
Well, what's his name? Ray.
Tweakin'?
Hey.
Why the fuck are you showing up now? I'm about to end! You stupid British bitch! I love you, but why are you here now?
The name I sent you was from Ray. He was asking for that raid.
Oh, is he... Did you send it in Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tweakin', I miss you. I was actually looking at your name the other day. Oh, because you're going to bed. Alright, fine. Well, I love you, I miss you. We should play some Valorant or COD or something. Yeah, Tweakin'. Absolutely love you, and I do miss you. Let me see who Ray posted. Not Ray. Yeah. Let me see who Darren just threw out there. Yeah, that's fine.
You took too long.
Why, did you already rate him?
No, well, I'm about to, but Discord's like, it's time to go.
Alright, guys. Well, we are going to go over and raid Born the Greatest. Wow, that is a really, apparently has quite a bit of modesty there.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Humble son of a bitch, apparently.
very, very humble. Guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the subs for the raid, Tweakin'. And for just coming in and, hanging out. Raiding with 2. Jesus, Tweakin'.
Actually, I could leave Discord on for a little bit to tell you that story, but I'm going to have a smoke first.
Yep, not a problem.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep, have a good one, guys. Let's go over and throw this down for Born the Greatest. Twitch is busted. Hey, I will take every raid I can get. Later, guys.